Hold on. Just lost my mic there for a moment. Good to be back with you tonight after a fabulous night we spent together last night. So, thank you all for hanging out tonight. It's going to be, a fairly short show, famous last words, but also it's going to be. I'm going to hang out with Hawk a little bit tonight. So he's going to be joining us after he gets some food in him, some good food in him. So welcome one and all. We are over on Rumble. We got about 200 over on Rumble, and we got about 200 here. So anytime I turn on the mic and a couple hundred people show up, 500 right away, 1,000. It's always great because that means I have some people I can reach, and I honor that and I value that. Let me see who's first in the Sned Shed tonight. John Griswold. Good evening to all. Good evening, John. Cindy, wow, thank you for coming on. You're making my night complete. Great to hear that. Thank you, Cindy. Chris, hello from Washington State. Hey, Dave, you're going to have a hard time beating last night's show, Pumpkin Buster. Yes, I think I will. Thank you for that. Hey, David, Johnny, good to see you. I saw this on X, and I got to say, Mr. Sciatica Kevin is one talented patriot. Isn't that cool? I'm going to play that later as well. I just got off the phone with him. Lacey, hey, Sneds from Mississippi. Buffering, Sup 420. Good to see Buffering. Light them if you smoke them if you got them. Daryl, hi, Dave. Catherine, good to see you. Good evening, Dave. Hawk, everyone. Hawk's not with us yet. He might be listening, but over his dinner. Kate Kabner, good to see you. Terry, good to see you. Iowa in the house. Go Hawkeyes. There you go. Hold on. Go Hawkeyes. That's, hold on. Where's my camera? There we go. That's the Carver Hawkeye Arena right there, folks. Carver Hawkeye Arena. And that's the Iowa Hawkeyes. There we go. And so hello, Boom Q. Hey Dave, good to see you. Hawk, how's it going? Hey Sneds. Weirdest thing, I got a notification. I'm glad that the notifications, it went out because it's YouTube, probably. YouTube's not a problem, but Rumble is a problem. Who else anybody got a notification from Rumble? Let's see. I got to watch this tomorrow. Dave stays up too late for me. I wanted to come on earlier tonight. I've just been busy. And hello all. Hello. Howdy from Nevada Rob. Evening, everyone. Deanna, good to see you. Let's see. PM. Hey, everyone. Penny for your thoughts. Corrine, good to see you. It's been a minute. Good evening, all. Karen, very cool. Very cool. Very cool. Dave could go till morning. Catherine, never know. Yeah, exactly. Once again, Dave, great movie yesterday. Thank you, Maggie. I'm glad you all liked it so much. Very much. Karina 7, hey Dave, watched your movie last night. I loved it. I wish it was an actual show. I haven't sat down to watch any TV for over 2 years, but I would love to watch a show like your movie. Great job. Thank you. I actually, Karina, thought about making that a show. And it would be pretty easy to do. But now it's kind of like 25 years later, it would be a different movie. But also, I had thought about, doing that as a show, but the concept would work as a show. Hey, Jan, good to see you. Good evening, folks. Mr. Brightside, D, good to see you. Autumn is here in Missouri. Saw a tree turning red. Oh, my gosh, say it ain't so. Buffering the real Anons. Roy, good Sunday evening, Dave, and happy Labor Day. Yeah, we got tomorrow off, most of us, right? I work pretty much every day, but Mikey B, 55, thank you. Diana, howdy. Um, Corinne, Dave, hospital is now trying to settle out of court for our fired nurses for not taking the jab. Hey, if they're trying to settle, that means you've got the upper hand. Nisi, good to see you. Um, you were missed when you were away. Hey, Dave and Patriots, Cat, Mother B. Buffering, wonderful movie night last night. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Very cool, very cool. Hello, David, and everyone in the chat. Mr. Sciatica, Dina, good to see you. Wendy, Melbourne, Australia. Marta, good to see you. Viking King, hello. KM, hello, hello, hello. Awesome, awesome. 500, 1,000 beautiful people. Awesome, Dave. Yeah, we've got, let's see, 360 here and all the platforms and Rumble 265. So we're raising up, my friends. Cindy, good to see you. I'm so happy to hear from you, Dave. I'm so glad. Hello from Michigan, Sue. Terry, Dave, we love you. Thank you. I love you as well, Terry. Let's see. Karen, I like Rumble better, but my real name doesn't show. Okay. All right. Let's see. Let's see. Sandy from Indy, welcome. Greetings, Dave from Oklahoma. Catherine, Jody Irv, I love the indoctrination. Thank you. Thank you. Good to see you all. Good to see you all. Good to see you all. Good evening, Dave. Thanks for coming on tonight. I really enjoyed last night's show. Thank you, Clay. It was really cool to share that with you all, and thank you all for the accolades. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome, Jenny. Evening, Dave from the Jersey Shore. Glad you're feeling better. Thank you, brother. Let me see. Let me see. Okay. I popped up on the X board. Oh, you mean like on the right side of X? Yeah, I see it. There we go. As a matter of fact, that's pretty cool. I don't know. Have I seen that before? I can't remember, but InfoWars got 34,000. You can't stop progress. I hypocrite 6,000. And Sunday Night Live with David Snedeker 268. Please share this out, my friends. But we are the third highest attended show tonight. Yeah. So welcome everybody. Oh geez. Oh my gosh. Okay. I got to share this. In a surprising turn, Hamas and Israel have found common ground, the jab campaign. Both sides have agreed to multiple 3-day ceasefires so health officials can jab 640,000 children against polio. Campaign is already underway with combat halted on both sides. It's amazing how Hamas and Israel can come together to jab children. And by the way, guys, I've seen what they're doing, and they're giving them the oral jab, and that is the thing that has paralyzed many Indian children and people in general. Whoo! Old man basketball picks. Love it. And you too, Dave. Yeah, when shorts were shorts. Jody, I got a notification from Rumble. Yes, no, Rumble notification. I got 2 from Rumble. Great. Okay. That's getting straightened out. Very cool. And John X notifies you. Very cool. Clay, stay calm. It's boom time. I agree. I got one. Very cool. Hi, Dave. What's your opening instrumental? That's Billy Jack, one of my favorite movies of all time. That is called The Art of Silence by Unique, UNIQ. UNIQ. The Art of Silence. I've been playing that for years. I love your show. Thank you, Billy Jack. Appreciate that. A. Dunyan, you did from Rumble. Cindy from Arizona and Peoria, Illinois. That's not far from my old stomping grounds, Springfield, Illinois. Kevin Rotella, aka Mr. Sciatica, love the shorts you do of Dave. Thank you. Yeah, Kevin and I have been talking about that, and I'm so glad that he's doing that. And hopefully, we're gonna do more of it. right, Kevin? And because it's going to get a lot of views because a lot of people just don't have, 2, 3, 4 hours, however long I'm on to watch a full show. And so we're really trying to get in the habit of, doing that more, and I'm grateful to Kevin for doing that. So keep, please share those out too when you get them, guys. That will, support Kevin's growth on the platform, and that'd be really good. Yeah, only the short shows. Okay. I usually get your notification after you're here, Maggie. Thank you. Cindy, yes, enjoyed the movie. Very cool. Um, let's see. I'm in the Badlands tonight. All right. Dakotas. Hi, Dave from Washington State. Megan. Okay. Got 2 bells from Rumble and 1 from YouTube. Cool. Faithful from Australia. Great shows, Dave. Thank you, Angie. Good to have you here. Chrissy from Arizona is here. I usually wait until the next day to watch. Just heard Dr. Artis says nicotine is the antidote to many sickness, including arthritis, heart problems, Alzheimer's, etc. Um, you know, where did I do with that? I have these pouches, guys, of nicotine that I put between my cheek and gum, and so I'm getting some nicotine. I'm trying to do that every day because it is so good for so much. So I do recommend that. So thank you for that, Deborah. Yes, Dave, it was excellent. Romantic comedies are my favorite movies. I'm so glad. Um, Julia, good to see you. Hi, Dave. So many people are exhausted and losing it now. Praying for them and Trump to return. Yes, people are tired, my friends. People are tired. Okay, my friends, let me get into it. T. Johnson, hey all. Hi, Dave. Did you see my question to you? No, I missed it, T. Johnson. Would you please repost it and I'll look? Yeah. Dave, you got to get back into movies, the stories you could tell now about our fight in this war. Absolutely. My friends, this if accolades were dollars, that's all I'd be doing. I'd be doing this show and I would be doing additional shows like this, and I would be working on making really moving movies and also additional content. If you'd like to support that, okay, and I'm really reaching out to the people who don't normally give or just, go around and, grab. I'm really looking for your engagement, even if it's just a small engagement. Please just understand the importance of the flow of energy between what I'm doing, what I'm putting out there, the things that I'm helping you all with over many years, 5.5 years. Many of you haven't been around that long, but for those of you who have, yeah, just I'm really reaching out to the 98% that do not donate. I think last night's show brought in $178, just to give you an idea of donations and how I'm becoming absolutely wealthy with donations like that. It barely covers much. So please find it in your hearts to spread the love, spread the joy, and to churn this energy into something really, really powerful. Because I know we can. What do you want to do? You want to go out there? Go on, go. Now I start the show. Now he's having problems. Right now he needs my attention. So at any rate, my friends, please support my work, and I'll do more of that. Linda Correll, thank you very much for your donation just now. Very, very much appreciated. And folks, I will shout you out tonight as if they come in through Cash App, ideally, because that's the one I can turn around quickest. Zelle is also ideal, actually more ideal than Cash App. And Zelle is so easy with your bank. You could literally send me $1 through Zelle, my friends, and it's you just use my email, and it couldn't be easier, and it doesn't cost anything. If you were to put money through Rumble, I found out that they take up to 50% if you put it through the the app, the Rumble app. Android and Apple take 30%, and then Rumble takes 20%. So they literally take half of any donation. So please keep that in mind. Certainly, we want to support Rumble, but not if they're going to be, ripping us off like that. So, my friends, and this is also my address. Many of you asked for that, that you could send me something. And let me get to something I want to share with you tonight. Hold on one second. I'm going to let the little dude out, which, let me see. Okay. Where are my, I'm not in the right space. I need to get to the right space here. Okay. This is really interesting. I'm going to play it for you now, and I'll be right back. And I'll just take the little dude out, and get back with you here. Okay.
Reporting from our team over at the White House. Peter Alexander is still standing by. Peter, what can you tell us?
Chris, this is some breaking news that Kristen Welker and myself have now confirmed, according to at least 3 former Obama administration officials. We have now confirmed that President Trump, during that 90-minute Oval Office meeting that took place with President Obama here at the White House less than 48 hours after President Trump won, when he was then President-elect Trump, was warned by President Obama against hiring Mike Flynn. This is a piece of information that has not been reported before. It is notable because, as we have heard from President Trump over the course of the last several days and weeks, attacking the Obama administration as recent as today with those tweets, attacking the Obama administration effectively for hiring Mike Flynn. It's notable that the Obama administration, the president ultimately had fired Flynn. He was then serving at the DIA at the time, but that this information was provided to Donald Trump in that closed forum. Another element of that conversation we know about is that President Obama warned then President-elect Trump about the concerns regarding North Korea. All of this, the backdrop for Sally Yates' testimony to take place later this afternoon. We have reached out to the White House for any response. We have not yet heard back, but when we do, we will report that to you. Again, just to be very clear about this, NBC News has now learned from at least 3 former Obama administration officials that President Obama, at the time, it was on Thursday, November 10th, warned then President-elect Donald Trump against hiring Mike Flynn.
So we have
a timeline here that shows that in August 7th, 2014, he retires from the Army after 33 years. Then in August of 15, he first meets Donald Trump. And then just a month later, you've got Stefan Halper, who you just referenced, awarded an Office of Net Assessments contract valued at $245,000. He was paid that much money to study Russia and China. Lee Smith, tell us about that.
Yeah, Maria, thanks very much for mentioning Halper, because I believe that he's actually the center of the Russiagate operation. And we first see him start to appear as he is targeting General Flynn. And now we understand, as Ms. Powell's work on behalf of General Flynn has shown, why the deep state, why they needed to target General Flynn, because he understood the kinds of programs that they were using and how they were misspending their money. And Halper is representative.
Well, he was paid $244,000 to write a study on China and Russia.
Right.
Is that the kind of money that one gets paid for something like that?
I mentioned this a bit in my book, and as it turns out, Mr. Halper's his research is subpar, and no, this appears to have been money that was allocated for other purposes.
Sorry about that, folks. I had to run out again for the little dude. So Chuck Lesto reports, shock report, bombshell document emerges revealing President Barack Obama requested the UK execute Project Folsom, seeking intelligence gatherings on the Trump Organization and Donald J. Trump for President Inc. The letter addressed to Boris Johnson also reveals Susan Rice requested to continue surveillance during Trump's transition period. Folks, I showed you this letter weeks ago, and it was significant then, and it's significant now.
Fabricated evidence, and they lied to the courts, and they did all sorts of things to have it go their way. And this was something that we can never allow to happen again. The report actually, and especially when you look into it, and the details of the report are far worse than anything I would have even imagined. What they were doing and what they would have done if I didn't make a certain move that was a very important move, because it would have been even worse if that's possible. And they might have been able to succeed. This was an overthrow of government. This was an attempted overthrow, and a lot of people were in on it, and they got caught. They got caught red-handed. And I look forward to the Durham report, which is coming out in the not too distant future. It's got his own information, which is this information plus. And it's an incredible thing that happened, and we're lucky we caught him. I think I'm going to put this down as one of our great achievements, because what we found and what we saw, never, ever should this happen again. Fabricated.
Got it. Thank you, Kev. Sorry, guys. I accidentally muted myself. Thank you, Kevin, for that heads up, brother. So the Clinton Foundation, right? The pill must be easy to swallow. The lead in, the public must be prepared for what is about to come. The Clinton Foundation. Do you understand how we needed to, Q said one of the last Q drops was it had to be this way. This is the DNC plus. Let's see what else we got here. DNC Bolton plus, and so much. The Godspeed Q plus. That was Trump. Separate criminal investigation going on outside of special counsel Robert Mueller's purview, for which Flynn has been providing significant assistance. Markers are important. December 4th, 2017, December 4th, 2018. Think no name, which is McCain. Did Mueller have a choice in making the recommendation? Who does Mueller now report to? Does Whitaker also oversee Huber and the Office of Investigative. I'm forgetting the OIG. It's let me know if you remember, but it's the internal, I believe, like internal affairs team of 470 currently working on. Who has the servers? Who has access to NSA UT Terminal 1 through 12? Q is telling us that they do. Does FISA grant access to NSA umbrella collection? You are witnessing something firsthand that many cannot possibly comprehend or accept as reality. Sci-fi or precision M_planning. Coincidences revealed without violating national security. Coincidences mathematically impossible to be false. Coincidences bypass installed restrictions to prevent future legal attachments. Comms understood. 5-5. Senate was the target. The crimes against children. Hillary Clinton and Foundation. Do you understand what he was saying when he said plus, folks? Okay. Criminal Investigation Division. Okay. Bunker Forest Blue, April showers, plus, also refers to Saudi Arabia. 2 plus is Rothschilds and 1 plus is Soros. Is this stage set for drop of HRC raw video? Plus, child trafficking. Future proofs past. When he says plus, folks, it always takes us into the drops. Okay. And also this is House of Sod. What I was just saying is 6 plus, Rothschild 6 plus, Soros 6 plus. Yeah. For one side of the triangle removed, first time in history, that's Saudi Arabia, plus, other side's falling, plus, and plus. So, nothing is random. Everything has meaning. And without the drops, let me take you to the drop that said, let's see. Q came back and said, shall we play a game once more? Right. And one of the Anons, this was after like a year and a half, okay, being gone. One of the Anons said, throw us a bone, Q. We've all been waiting for what seemed like an eternity. What's going on? Q said it had to be done this way. Look at all, my friends, that has been exposed. Is there any question in your mind that it had to be done this way? Okay. This is this documentation, and this is Donald Trump Jr. Also, hold on, let me bring that up. And Hawk's in the house. Come on up, brother.
You go ahead, keep going.
Okay.
I'm eating my dinner with you, but
okay.
I only wanted to expand on one thing that you said to them, and that is that yes, when we get references to that point us to the board, we have to remember that sometimes these things have more than one definition.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
We need to keep reminding them of that, because we do have a bunch of new people to Q,
right,
and for them to understand that there is more than one meaning for a lot of these things, and we need to look at those.
Good point. And multiple meanings exist. Thank you for that.
Yep.
Good stuff.
I'm gonna mute myself. I'm gonna keep on eating. You keep going.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks. So so Donald Trump Jr. Declassified email confirms Flynn was targeted in Oval Office meeting. Folks, this is a huge thing. It really doesn't matter what you think of Flynn. It's more about the treason that was committed by Barack Obama, by Susan Rice, by what's his name? Biden. Biden was in there. And this is treason, folks. And we're going to see this. We're going to get to the bottom of this. Just the other day, I shared out Spiritual Street Fighters meme that said all roads lead to Obama. I've been saying that for a very, very long time. And I've also been saying that I believe that Hillary and Obama are going to be the first arrests. If you know me, you know that I have been saying that Trump is not the first arrest, as mentioned in the drops, and that there were 2 drops with the same timestamp of the of this. Excuse me. Hold on, I got to pull this up. Bear with me here, folks. It's been a long weekend. I was up very late last night after hanging with you, up very early this morning for the sunrise, which was a beautiful sunrise, and been going ever since, my friends. I wanted to show you all something here, and I'm going to pull that up for you now. But what we're seeing here is, I believe, we're going to see Obama and Hillary being brought back out into the forefront, and we're going to see, and it's going to be at a time when people can now digest it. And when you understand how important it is for people to be up to speed with you, right? Imagine, for example, we're all riding, on a hayride, and we're going pretty fast, and somebody jumps off and tries to land with 2 feet. They're going to hit and go flying, right? And face first, they're going to go smack right into the ground. Okay. But if you jump and you start running immediately, you're getting that momentum. You're keeping up with the momentum of that cart. We need to get everybody running in place and then jumping off, because then you're not going to face plant. And that's really, really important when it comes to understanding that how far we need to come in order to really, make it so people aren't just, losing their minds when they see what's happening here. So now you've got, look at what happened with Kamala. She is getting destroyed. Look at what happened to Biden. He got destroyed. They cannot hide from us, my friends. They cannot hide from us. Let me see. Okay, here we go. So let me show you this. Sorry. Let me pull up my side here. Here we go. Okay, so let me show you this little cool graphic by our friend Kevin Rotello here. Check this out. I'll see you walking after dark. I'll see you walking after dark. Some of my favorite people right here. That's me 25 years ago. I was one of my favorite people 25 years ago. Not now, but 25 years ago I was. Kevin Rotello right here between me and Script Keeper right there with his Yankees hat on. The Don right there, and our good friend Sir Oliver Pollock. So hats off to all those Anons and all the work that they're doing, and much appreciated, Kevin, for putting that together. That's very, very cool, brother. I really enjoyed that. And I've never seen, I think he told me that was from Peaky Blinders or something like that. and I've never seen that. But anyway, I hope it's I think that's cool, very, very cool. And I also want to talk about let me go to here. Let me go to another Snedhead here, Derek Martin, who did a great post. 3 of the 4 songs currently on IngersollLockwood.com, which I have played for you, under the MAGA hyperlink, see photo below, contain lyrics centered around Looking Glass, 2025, and Junior. Repeatedly, the songs refer to 2025 looking blue and hazy. All throughout, they reference Trump and Junior working through faith to save the country in 2025. Remember, his inauguration would be January 20th, 2025, if they go through with the elections. Yet, with deep state actors continuing to lurk in the shadows. In one of the songs, Through the Looking Glass, it speaks only of Junior finding the light to save America, leaving Trump out completely from the lyrics. Why? And I've played all these for you. Food for thought, I leave you with these questions. Is something going to happen to Trump, leaving Junior to take the reins and finish the job? Maybe I'll finish, by the way, with these songs tonight. I know, a terrible thought. Don't shoot the messenger. Just interpreting the trend of these lyrics and their increasing importance of Junior's role. Junior plays very prominently. Is this foreshadowing that 2025 will be when much of the chaos erupts, rather than this fall election season, which is conventionally when many of us has been expecting? Which Junior is continuously being referenced? Is it RFK Jr. or JFK Jr.? Well, I will say this, that they were singing these songs about Junior before Robert Kennedy threw his support behind Trump and stepped out of the race and threw his support behind Trump. Now that Robert Kennedy Jr. has publicly joined forces, should we abandon the idea that Q was ever referencing JFK Jr.? I don't think so, but I love the way that that Derek is putting this kind of thought experiment out there. At what point in 2025 will the tides change? My best guess would be March, April. Will 2025 bring us any resolution, exposure, arrests, or official public acknowledgement of this true spiritual battle that's been happening behind the scenes? I speak these questions, Derek, really well thought out, really well worded, by the way. I speak these questions not to insert more uncertainty into our current state of affairs and the role the Q operation is playing in restoring the republic, but to simply air out the frustrations that I'm sure many of us have as things drag on. When will we witness something that proves publicly this operation is winning so as to expose the masses to it? How much longer can Anons go without public validation? Will this be a never-ending cycle of hidden calms and small victories? Yet we never get to witness the big villains taken out, mass arrests made public. Will we only always have just a promise of freedom from debt slavery, or will the current bankster system actually collapse in front of our eyes? I have no answers. Anyone that pretends to truly know what the future holds is selling you false hope and or acting for hidden selfish interests. I'll repeat that, and I've said this many times. Anyone that pretends to truly know what the future holds is selling you false hope and or acting for hidden selfish interests. But as I'm sure many of you share the same reservations and frustrations, the longer this goes, all I can say is modestly as a humanly possible, we will see change. We are winning, and soon the rest of the world will see the light. We're so close, I can feel it. Stay strong. And you know what? Let me play these. Interesting. The only other link in this area of the Ingersoll Lockwood page is the period, which links to Executive Order 11110, authorizing silver certificates. That was put together by JFK when he was president. And many believe that's what got him murdered. Would love a deeper dive into the significance of all this by any of one of these great independent thinkers, Proletario, which is Ariel, myself, May Rocks, who she does some great stuff. I Don't Exist Tory. I don't follow her much. The Q News Patriot, SGN on, Sir Oliver, Script Keeper, Real Donald Trump, Poppy Trumpo, Dan Scavino, and then Argo. Oh, excuse me, Elon Musk parody. I don't know that. Elon Musk and Representative Thomas Massey. Okay, and this shows you how when you do the dark part, these letters stand out to you as links, and they spell MAGA, right? And it takes us to Executive Order 11110. Okay. So let me play. I'm going to play these for you because I've never done all of them because they all come out at different times. But let me play first for you the land of the free. Before I do that, let me just make sure I'm not losing any of you with comments. There we go. Okay. Did I miss? Okay, thanks. I thought so. T. Johnson, the day the military steps in, was that your question? Because I asked you for it. We will have 120 days to have elections per the war manual. Yes. Let me see. I'm just looking for that question. I'll look for that while I'm playing these songs, okay? Here we go.
Old radio, crackling airs, voices calling, freedom shares. Break the chains, free your mind, leave the darkness far behind. Join the fight, swing your vote, drain the swamp and sink the boat. Find your voice, let them hear, cast your ballot, show no fear. Make America great again, raise the flag and stand as friends. 45 to 47, freedom's voice, our song of heaven. Make America great again, raise the flag and stand as friends. 45 to 47, freedom's voice, our song of heaven. In the shadows, quiet lies, raise your voice to clear the skies. From the past, strength we take, in unity no vow will break. From the hills to the plains wide, let our hearts and minds abide. In the waves of red, white, blue, patriots the dream pursue. Make America great again, raise the flag and stand as friends. 45 to 47, freedom's voice, our song of heaven. Make America great again, raise the flag and stand as friends. 45 to 47, freedom's voice, our song of heaven.
All right, that was one. That was land called Land of the Free. Land of the Free. And let me play this next one.
Looking glass so hazy, the year 2025. Love almost fading, humanity to survive. Pray for the old days, times of 45 and 47. Hope the light returns. Save us from this deep, dark night. Save America now.
It's called Hazy Future.
Bring back the light somehow. Deep state shadows play. Got us to a brighter day. Junior, where are you? Lost in the whispering winds. Echoes of a better time. Dreams that never end. Memories of golden times when we knew what was right. Silent prayers in the night for darkness to take flight. Save America now. Bring back the light somehow. Deep state shadows play. Got us to a brighter day. Junior, where are you? Lost in the whispering winds. Echoes of a better time. Dreams that never end. Memories of golden times when we knew what was right. Silent prayers in the night for darkness to take flight. Save America now. Bring back the light somehow. Deep state shadows play. Deep state shadows play. Guide us to a brighter day.
That was Hazy Future. And we're going to go to the third right now. This is called Through the Looking Glass. Now, I want to just about some of the lyrics on those. If you guys hear any lyrics that you want to talk about, and I think it's a different Junior than RFK because it harkens back to brighter days and more just more things to. Yeah, T. Johnson, I just need you to ask that question again. I'm so sorry. And you may have already gotten it answered, but too many comments for me to find it. So, and I will keep an eye out for it. So I think it's referencing, John Jr. But here's the thing: we don't have to know that. We don't have to know about is John Jr. alive, et cetera, et cetera. But I will say this: that it's going to take a lot for people to really understand what's at play here and what's been going on. And I think there needs to be something that snaps, that breaks the the hypnosis. Remember, the people that are still, now pushing Kamala and saying Joe Biden should be on Mount Rushmore, and these people that are completely indoctrinated, they the thing to understand about that is that they have been hypnotized. They have been absolutely brainwashed. That's why the people that took the jab, it's really hard to have the conversation with them about getting that out of their system, right? So yeah, so does mine, Dina. JFK Jr. when he mentions Junior. Oh, and here's the question. But they got to snap out of this hypnosis. And what does a hypnotist do? But he does a pattern interrupt to break them out of the hypnosis, right? And so a pattern interrupt is what is necessary. And what we've been seeing is what I believe to be the setting them up for the pattern interrupt, right? It's like they say, don't wake up a sleepwalker, right? Because you don't know what damage that could do. And it's kind of these NPCs, they're sleepwalking as well. And so you don't want to wake them up while they're sleepwalking. So you got to ease them into it, right? So, Dave, NSA posted video stating no such agency will start, no such podcasts on 9/5. The helicopter in their video had 17. You know what? Let me go to that. And Hawk, you just come on in whenever you're ready, brother. Let me go to that because I did post. Hey man, how you doing? How's that? Your mic is off?
Yeah, I forgot I muted it when I yeah. Hi.
How are you, man?
I'm doing all right. How are you doing?
Good. Did you get a good dinner in you?
Yeah, and the dogs got well, they got the bigger portion of it, but I'm all right with that.
Very cool. Well, we haven't gone live together in a minute, and I wanted to get you back on and just chat about the things that are happening out there and just kind of connect with you. And
yeah, I like that you went into the Ingersoll songs because I got a couple on my computer as well. Cool. And talking about the looking glass and I've been trying to share those as often as possible during the daytime podcasts because I think it's important for people to understand first the temperament of the songs. It's like a 1920 between the 1920s to a 1940s, almost like at the end of the Second World War type of music inlay. Yeah. Now, we've been talking about how our financial system, if we do in fact go through a financial reset, then basically that's kind of the era that we're going to end up going back to. Prices of the 1920s to the 1940s, because our dollars are going to have the gold backing behind it. So, I thought that it was great that you pulled up that Ingersoll stuff, though.
Well, it was a great post by Derek Martin. And did I get through 2 songs or 1 song?
I think you did 2.
Okay, let me go to the third. And yeah, I did do 2. And let me go to the third and let's listen to that and we'll come back out of that, talk a little bit, and then go to the other one. This third is very important because it's through the looking glass. Okay. So let's hold on a sec. This one I played the other night. Let me see here. And then I'll get back to that question because I've got some things I want to show you around that question.
Looking glass hazy on 2025. Feels like the heart barely feeling alive. Whispers of love don't carry the tune in a world where hope fades too soon.
Love this.
Pray for those numbers 4547, dreaming of a modern heaven. Junior must find that shimmering light, save the land from the darkest night. Through the looking glass we stare, hoping someone still cares. Love's the thread we need to weave a brighter day we long to believe. Memories of simpler days gone by, now we're reaching for stars in the sky. Echoes of laughter, soft and sweet, disappear in a hurried heartbeat. Through the looking glass we stare, hoping someone still cares. Love's the thread we need to weave a brighter day we long to believe. Through the looking glass we stare, hoping someone still cares. Love's the thread we need to weave a brighter day we long to believe. Brighter day we long to believe. Deep state shadows creeping near, will we overcome the fear? In the haze we seek the truth, calling out, save our youth. Through the looking glass we stare, hoping someone still cares. Love's the thread we need to weave a brighter day we long to believe.
Another great song. Another great song. You're muted, Dave.
Sorry. I love that one. And that's my favorite. And you as a musician can really appreciate that. Right? I mean, just the quality.
Absolutely. That's well, it kind of gives me that Dan Fogelberg kind of vocal.
Yeah.
But it gives me that kind of bluegrass ragtime that country singer or the female there, the country gospel girl, Alison Krauss, kind of sound. But yeah, I definitely dig it. Quick question for you: did you ever get TJ's question?
Yeah, I'm going to go to that right after this
Okay.
because I shared that. I think I shared that that bit, so I want to go to that. Let me go to this last song. This is called "Swinging Into Tomorrow." Ingersoll Lockwood, and let me bring this up. Hold on. Okay, and here it is.
Looking glass sees a land so blue, praying hard for a light so true. Trump we've seen in 45, hoping he'd make us feel alive. Junior steps up to the plate, dreams of change will never wait. Swinging sounds fill the air, hoping faith will clear despair. Swing high, pray tonight, make it bright, bring the light. Trump and Junior lead the way, make it great, save the day. Deep state swap will defeat, dance to the banjo, feel the beat. Harmony in every stride, America, let's unite with pride. Listen to the music play, Trump and Junior pave the way. Dreams will never fade away, make it better every day. Swing high, pray tonight, make it bright, bring the light. Trump and Junior lead the way, make it great, save the day. Swing high, pray tonight, make it bright, bring the light. Trump and Junior lead the way, make it great, save the day. Deep state swap we'll defeat. Dance to the banjo, feel the beat. Harmony in every stride. America, let's unite with pride. Listen to the music play. Trump and Junior pave the way. Dreams will never fade away. Make it better every day. Make it better every day.
So that one was, excuse me, called Swinging into Tomorrow. And again, folks, I just want to give a shout out to, let me do this here real quick. Derek Martin at Derek Martin DMD, at Derek Martin DMD. Give him a follow, folks. He does some really nice work. He's part of the beautiful community here, and he put out some great stuff. I wanted to address this and then move on to that other question. Nisi said Benjamin Fulford did a Rumble video August 30th stating Vance will step down due to family issues and Junior is to then step in as VP. Here are my thoughts on that. I want to hear yours, Hawk. First of all, Vance, we never really felt like Vance was the guy. And so I'm wondering if that indeed is going to be the case. But also the other thing about that is that if Junior steps in, is it JFK Jr. or is it RFK Jr.? Because the thing about that is that if it's JFK Jr., that's huge, obviously. RFK Jr., I never thought that Trump would make him necessarily a VP because of their differences on so many issues. If something happened to Trump, we've got a pretty, left-leaning dude in there as president. What are your thoughts, Hawk?
Well, after seeing what RFK has experienced with all of this for the last 16 months, 16, 17 months that he was actually out there battling to try to be in the contention for the office. I could feasibly see it being possible because, it was like you said, there's a difference between standing there shouting each other down and then two people who have different ideas having proper discourse coming to a consensus about what to do about a situation. Now, a ticket in that fashion of having a Democrat along with a Republican could very well be what would entirely bring a unity, to both parties. We're still going to have our bad Democrats, okay? But I think that the way that he's been treated over the last 16 to 17 months has had a very big change in him. However, I do have some reservations about him because of things that he's been involved with in the past. Again, these guys who've been in office, most of them have, in one way or the other, have some type of blackmail against them, and and everything, and that's the only way that they stay in office. So I have a feeling that there's going to be more than one Junior involved. So I lean more towards the very good possibility of JFK Jr. reemerging. But I will say this, the arrest has to happen first. It has to happen first.
Well, from the standpoint of they have to see it happening without Trump's involvement and anybody associated with Trump.
Exactly. Yeah. The military has to come in ahead of time. The only way that we are going to defeat the entirety of the evil in the government is the military going in and cleaning house, and us getting able to start with a fresh, clean slate, and let Trump pull in the people that he believes are going to be the best for the country. Now, that doesn't mean that RFK can't throw some great ideas and great concepts into this, because I think being a part of the administration is Donald Trump's goal, is, to bring him to the forefront, to give him a platform in which now to introduce good policies that even Trump would support.
Yeah. Yeah. The thing about it's kind of like, RFK has been his own boss for a very long time. And he has been effective, but he's also been very ineffective because of the sheer amount of time. By the way, Renz, if you would mind sending me those songs that you have saved, if there's a way for you to send them to me, I would greatly appreciate that. And you can send them to this or through X Messenger, the indoctrination at Proton Mail. This whole thing about RFK is that he really has had a difficult time in getting things done. And it's taken a long time, and he's had to work very hard. He's kind of like this guy, whether it be the water issue that he took up, or the jab issue of childhood jabs that he took up, or this CV issue that he took up. It's kind of been like shoveling shit against the tide. He has gotten rid of some of the shit, but a lot of it has come back at him and on him. And he's got the added problem with his wife, who is very liberal, very pro-jab, pro-CV jab, and also doesn't really support him fully. She supports his run for president, but she didn't, really support him fully. And now, I don't know what she said recently. If any of you know, please let me know. But, she was being called out by, like actors to disown him or disavow him because he joined Trump. Meanwhile, he brought a lot of people over from the Democrat side to Trump when he came, and a lot of independents as well. But the reason I say that is because with Trump at the helm, I think RFK Jr. is, as long as Trump gives him, the ability to do what he does best, I think he's going to be so incredibly effective, more so than he ever has been, because he's going to have MAGA behind him. Not just Trump, but MAGA behind him. And I think he's going to be unstoppable. I think he's going to be a force to be reckoned with, no matter what role he plays in the administration. Right? So going back to that question about the NSA, right? And by the way, the 17s that keep popping up, I posted this. Let me bring that up, that screen. This was a post by @Vrotocol, who I did not follow until now. And if you're paying attention, you'll have noticed a lot of 17s around recently. Have you noticed any odd 17s around? Elon Musk, Trump campaign video timestamp, Trump talking about page 17.
And I had a story on page 17. So I won, David, and my story was on page 17. But I was always at page 1 when I made a little speech or something.
Mentions it twice.
Cheryl,
RFK
this is
Jr.?
my. Hey, everybody, I'm down in Baja with Cheryl. This is my first day off in 17 months. We're spending 3 days down here, and it's been great. But look what I just caught. I wanted you to see this. This is a beautiful little lizard. It's called a Cape spiny-tailed iguana. And these lizards.
So basically, he was saying, 17 months he's been off. And this was the NSA helicopter.
Telegram and put it on her Telegram. Rev put this up on, he helps out the Defender on Telegram.
Sorry. Hold on.
Put this up on, he helps out the Defender on Telegram and put it on her Telegram channel, and he gave it over to us for us to look at. There's so much in here. We're going to go through it. So it's from the NSA on Twitter, the handle NSA Gov. Okay, and it's talking about this podcast or whatever they got starting on September 5th. So it was a 34-second video. So 17 times 2 or 234, whatever, is how long the video is. We're going to play it in a second, but at the 12-second mark, a helicopter is shown. And what's the number on the helicopter? Oh, happens to be 17. And it was posted at 9:26 in the morning. So if you take 9 plus 2 plus 6, that also equals 17. Seems like they wanted us to pick up on this video for some reason. Let's play the video, then we'll get into what the link leads to over here.
Success is the attack that never happened. For decades, the No Such Agency has protected the nation, our armed forces, and built partnerships across the globe. We've served in silence, and now it's time to share that story. This is No Such Podcast.
All right. So here's the video. You saw the helicopter and you heard them say the phrase, "No Such Podcast."
So that, the NSA, the National Security Agency, used to be called No Such Agency because they didn't want Americans to know what they were doing or who they were. They didn't want anybody to know that. And so now what you're seeing them now coming out with this podcast, which is unheard of that they would have this. Thoughts on that, Hawk?
I think that, it's going to be an interesting look to see what the NSA is going to be willing to state.
Yeah.
It's the only thing that we've really known about the NSA, other than the fact that they're data collectors. They've collected every text, every phone call, every email, everything all the way down the line in the history that the internet has been available. The Flynn connection. Now, this is the thing, though, is, the question is, who knows where the bodies are buried? Well, that's kind of like a 2 or a 3 answer question. Okay.
Right.
Because I believe that Obama knows where bodies are buried.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that Clinton knows where bodies are buried. And I think that Flynn knows where bodies are buried. My problem with the Flynn side of it, him being the head of the NSA as long as he was, and the knowledge that he has, why hasn't he even taken the initiative to start telling people where the bodies are buried?
Well, Flynn was an NSA. He was national intelligence.
I thought he was the head of the NSA for a few years there.
I don't believe so. He was a national security advisor. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think he was. He was a national security advisor, and he was the head of the Department of National Intelligence, but separate organizations. And I'm just confirming that. But nothing's happened, right, with him in terms of, and he knew a lot about the Obama administration, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was not in the NSA. But he knows a lot. Like, your point is taken, but this, and we don't know what they're going to come out with this no such agency. But one of the other things about the 17 was Spiritual Street Fighter 17 was re-truthed by Trump, but also Fletch and Snow. And so congrats to Spiritual Street Fighter for that kind of stuff. But all roads lead to Obama, which is the one I was just talking about. Trump on Democrat jobs.
You heard the latest statistic that of the jobs that these people created, which is very little, every single job was taken, about 107% was taken by illegal immigrants. You heard the
another one. Oasis tour was 17 dates, and Daily Mail really wants you to notice the 17. Now Oasis fans turn on each other and moan they are missing out on a reunion tour to Gen Z Wonderwall warriors, who are too young to remember band's heyday, as tickets for all 17 shows go on sale, right? A few more from a bit longer ago, October 7th, 10/7, the date the Hamas attack. Meghan Markle's first product for American Riviera Orchard, known as the Lemons. The Q flag is yellow too. April 16th, 2024, 17 of 50. Trump F1 Miami 2024, McLaren Orange, 1 and 7. Eric Trump, Alina Habba, Brandy Roderick, and Robert Renzoni Winery, Temecula. The shirt on the wall is 17. I show speed at FFNY wearing a 17 Ronaldo shirt. Date unknown. Island Boys has a 17 on his forehead. The other one with Corona hair is wearing a giant Q. Okay. Tulsi and the Navy talk about 17. RFK, 17 months. I don't know. This dude had 17 tattooed on his forehead. And his album 2017 was called 17. And he's talking about frequency programming. Let me see how long this is. Yeah, let me see. Let me play this for us. Oh shit! I thought I was sharing screen. Let me know if I'm
sharing screen. Niggas don't know. It's not always to have fun. It's not always to have fun. Sometimes it's to help people find themselves, because music is frequency programming. Music is frequency. What frequency are you being fed? I will hope a motherfucker, before they go pull some negative shit out this conversation, they pull this part of the conversation, and then see that I'm really, really actually helping people, bro. Let me be detailed. At 15 years old, I was doing sound engineering, so I was playing with frequency. I was playing with equalizers. Now, I think it's it's not a sonar wave. I forgot. It's like an alpha wave or a sonar wave or something like that. I figured out that hertz is to understand the frequency vibration, right? So there's kilohertz. There's hertz, kilohertz, megahertz, right? And then I think it's ultra hertz. If I play with those frequencies, right, I can target certain parts of the mind, target the frequency to go to certain parts of the mind, and I can literally, like, if I want you to astral project, right? You know what astral projection is? No. If I want you to if I want you to astral project, or if I want you to go to sleep, or if I want you to go into a meditative state, I can make my music do that. These little niggas out here don't give a fuck enough to go into that science, bro. These little niggas ain't studying kilohertz, megahertz, and doing all this shit. These little niggas don't know how to equalize, compress, and do all this shit. And the ones that do, okay, maybe your music not good enough to where it got to where, or maybe you not real enough. Maybe your goal's not good enough. Sorry. There's some people out here that do that. You know what I'm saying? That do work. But maybe you ain't putting in the ambition. Maybe you ain't saying the right shit. Maybe you not you. Maybe you trying to sound like somebody else. Cause I ain't, bro.
So, a lot of good stuff on frequency there, but obviously he's somebody who's awake and not just one of these, just other rappers. He seems to be dialed in a little bit. But there are many 17, comms that this guy mentions that we hear over and over and over again. And so this is a great thread. I recommend it for you. This is by Snow, still undefeated retardation world champion, retardathon, keyboard warrior. Apparently, come get some. So check that out. And yeah, so that comment about the NSA, did we cover everything about that in terms of that question, do you think, Hawk?
Yeah, I think we did. It's when I was thinking NSA, Flynn was a national security advisor, and then he became the defense intelligence
Director of National Intelligence.
Yeah, Director of National Intelligence. So he had all of the intelligence agencies coming to him. That means that all 17 intelligence agencies reported to him. And what came to him was what would go then to the president. There's just so many things around that guy that I'm just something about, and the network of people around him is just money grabbers, completely surrounding it, and that's not really benefiting the American people. Basically, the only way you get to hear his message is if you have some cash to spend. And that's not cool. That's not cool. We all of us are in a position right now where we want to do everything that we can in order to help our country. And unfortunately, most of us are at this time broke.
Yeah.
Between what happened in 2020 until today, there are still 60 to 65% of the population that have not been able to go back to work.
Yeah.
That's not helpful to me. So there's a lot of questions there, and then reverting back to the RFK conversation just for a moment.
Sure.
Somebody had posted that that rumor was that RFK went to the island.
I haven't seen that, and I don't go by rumors when it comes. If he was on the flight logs, that's one thing, but I don't buy that at all.
Yeah, I just something tells me it's not. It just doesn't seem to be like him.
No.
An RFK kind of thing, especially after knowing what has happened to his family. But then again, we can be proven, wrong later, and we'll be the first ones to come out and say, yeah, okay, all right, yeah, there's evidence of that, and yeah, we have to give it up for that. But at this point here, I have not seen his name on. Now, I did see a Kennedy on the list, But there was no first name. So I would think that, like, if RFK went, I seem to think that it would be RFK would be the name that would be on the flight log, and not just Kennedy.
Right. And Ted was a womanizer. He was, going back to Kopechne.
Yep.
This is, he's been compromised for a long time. That's why he never really went beyond what he was doing, is because this was the Trump shooting, and this was a 17 right here below the shooter, which also gives pause as to what really went down, right? So yeah. Yeah, so what's really standing out for you right now, about the weekend or the last week? What would you like to talk about?
Well, I covered a lot today in regards to the conversation, and I'm not going to say rumors because it has neither been confirmed nor denied that we have bikers on their way to Colorado.
Well, why don't you tell us your story about your friend who stopped by?
Well, so I actually said that I came on after I finished talking with him last night. I came on for a little 2-hour thing. And basically what he told me was that him and quite a few of other clubs between Oregon, California, and Washington State, and a couple of guys out of Idaho are getting together, and they are going to Colorado. Now, he did not specify that they were going to Aurora. He simply stated that they're going to Colorado. He didn't state that they were going there to do anything or to be a part of anything. He just said that they are getting ready for the trip, and that they would be leaving out today. Now, leaving here to go to Colorado is basically a 1 to a 2-day trip. Now, the guys from the East Coast that posted their videos stating that they were coming west, well, that's going to be a 3 to a 4-day trip. So I have a feeling that these guys are going to meet up there in Colorado. Now, again, he was not confirming nor denying. He was just stating that they were going to Colorado. That was it, and I want to be very specific about what he stated. But he had quite a grin on his face when he said he was going to Colorado. So, and I said to him, I says, have you heard about what's going on out there? He says, yeah. He says, everybody's hearing the stories. And the other thing was the video that was released today from one of the Texas bikers. Okay, now he doesn't ride with the Hells Angels. He does ride with the club. Okay,
I saw that. I'm trying to find that right now.
I pretty much know right where that's at. I know it's in my feed, so in my repost feed, so I can drop you the link in the private chat here in a second for that. So you ain't got to dig for it.
Cool.
But the way that he put it was that and he's right. Clubs are very, very adamant about retaliation when it comes to somebody very personal to them. So if it was a family member of a Hell's Angel, or it was a maybe a mom of an angel, or a girlfriend, or an ex-wife, because one thing about club members are they're pretty Johnny on the spot where it comes to past relationships, because most of them are dads, you know, and they take care of their own. They take care of their families. They take care of their kids, even if they're not with the woman anymore. They take care of the woman and they take care of the child. There is no animosity or anything else. They want the relationship, you know, to be a good, solid relationship. So if in fact somebody who was in fact close to the club or a member of the club was harmed or put out because of these guys, yeah, they would make that ride, and there would be hell to pay, and it would not be a juicy chicken bone. We're talking we're talking about the whole freaking roast, you know.
Well, we don't need to play that now because that kind of covered what he was saying. But I do think that what I really hope is happening, I really do hope that what we're seeing is that they are going to do something, because I think a precedent needs to be set right off the bat. This is America. This is what you're going to face if you pull that shit. Otherwise, we're going to see it duplicate over and over and over again within our borders until Trump has some modicum of control.
Yep. Yep. And on what you just said right there, I have another post that kind of goes into your viewpoint right there. And I think it was really good what this guy had to say. I'm looking for it right now.
Okay.
And I will drop it in. But the first guy is in the private chat. And he goes into a lot deeper than what I did. You know, and he talks about the ability for bikers to come together when it needs to happen, you know.
That was a dead link you just sent me.
It was a dead
here
link?
it is. It came up again. Okay, here we go. The first time it was dead. Second time it worked. Yeah, Juanita Broderick reshared this. Here we go.
Are the Hells Angels going to Colorado? So I've been riding all day, guys, and I am not a Hells Angel. I'm not with HA. I am with a 1% Club. Here's what I will tell you, guys. Everybody wants to know, is it true? Is it true? Are the Angels going to Colorado? Here's all I'm going to say. If a 1% Club like the Hells Angels were to decide to get involved in whatever's going on in Colorado, it wouldn't be because you got on TikTok and you asked them to do it. No, it wouldn't be because the mayor or some congressman said, hey, can you guys come over here and help us? It's not how it works. The only way on God's green earth that HA or any other 1% Club would be going to Aurora, Colorado to do anything, the only reason they would be doing that is if one of their own got fucked with. Y'all didn't fuck with one of the HAs up there, did you? Ooh, listen. It's really not a good idea. If one of their family members, a good friend of the club, a mother, one of their old ladies, if HA is on their way there, and I'm not HA at all, it's because somebody messed with one of their own. That'd be the only reason they'd do it. And if that happened, if they did that, if they are headed that way, I'm going to just highly recommend that you guys go ahead and clear out. Just whoever it was that did whatever you did to piss off the 1%ers here in America. This is not Venezuela. This is not Brazil. This is not whatever country you came from. Up here, things really are done differently. and you don't want to stand in the way. If you pissed off HA to the point where they got on their motorcycles and they're all headed to Colorado, yeah. Now the news won't even talk about it when it's all said and done. Nope. We'll know. People that know will know. But the news won't talk about it. Peace and love. I'm out.
Yeah, that was strong. He and you sound like. Hawk.
Yeah, he he generally tries to keep it short and to the point. He does quite a few podcasts every year in regards to the clubs, what they're doing, fundraisers that they're doing, rides that are going on to benefit different veterans and things like that. These guys are all involved in that stuff. So there is a communication of sorts between all the clubs. However, there are a certain group of one percenters that want nothing to do with anybody, period. They came back from the wars and their lives were in shambles and they no longer trusted the government, so they've been battling against that all these years. Would they step up in order to facilitate the beginning of a U.S. take back by the citizens? I could see it, but I think it would take more than Aurora to do that. Now in my feed now, I'm seeing new posts of these guys going to people's houses, actually in Denver, and with automatic rifles to rob people and do whatever.
Take their place.
Yep.
Yep.
So, but this guy here, he's got a great he's got a great viewpoint on Aurora as well.
Let's hear it. Thanks for sending this to me.
So there's a lot of talk going on about Aurora, Colorado, and the fact that but Venezuelan gangs have taken over hotels or something out there. And one creator posted a video about it, calling on the Hells Angels. And I know that HA is out there. I also know that there's a couple of chapters of the Sons of Silence out there. So, maybe it's time for the local one percenter clubs and other motorcycle clubs to step in and do what the local PD and sheriff's office can't do. Get out there and take back your town. Take back your AO. And kick them out of where they don't belong. Because this is our soil, not theirs. Get out there, take back what's yours, and kick these gangs out where they don't belong or whatever. Because from my understanding, from what I'm reading, it seems the local population is real scared about this. So, get involved to protect their own soil. Just a thought.
Yeah. It's an inspiration to kick it off. But, at the same time, you think about how the laws are set up in Colorado. Somebody ends up shooting somebody because they broke into their house. What's the outcome going to be? Is it going to be the U.S. government against or the state government against a homeowner who's got a family that is under circumstances such as what we're seeing right now on the screen? These guys are going in there to steal things and they're doing it with, AK-47s and AR-15s.
Yeah. Yep. And they're stealing a motorcycle right now.
Oh. I hope it wasn't a motorcycle belonging to a Hell's Angel, because that right there would be that's, in the old days, if you stole a horse, you got hung.
Yeah.
Horse thieves were not, and if you think about it, in the same what would you call it, in the same frame of thought, when a car gets stolen, you just stole a man's ability to go to work or come home or to provide for their family. That's as bad as stealing a horse. And maybe we do need to go back to, hey, if you steal a car, you get hung.
Well, here's the thing about that, Hawk, is it used to be back in the day, this used to be, if you took a man's livelihood, that was reason for, that was justification for murder. You hung them or you killed them because they were taking your livelihood. And that's, and also, we took it into our own hands, because the law was afraid of a lot of these people. So the law was corrupted back then as well.
They were conforming to the outlaw lifestyle.
Yeah. And so, here we're seeing how the government is responding, and it is very unsatisfying. Right? I mean, they just are, they're still playing this woke bullshit, right?
Yep.
And it's disgusting, and it's going to turn, it's going to change. Yeah. So
I was trying not to smoke on cam, so that's why. Oh boy.
By the way, big thank you to Linda Carell, Morgan Conklin, Romeo Custodio, Tammy Coluccio, Dina Gildner, Buffering, Dexon Dojo, Audi 5, Sonia Franco, Diana Lisi. Greatly appreciated, my friends, and please support my work here. $1, $2, $4, anything works and is much appreciated. Be a part of my next project. All the donors that are putting in now are now a part of my next project. So please join us and support my work. It is greatly appreciated, and you can see the way to do it down below. What in terms of this, I think that we need to nip this in the bud, or it's going to get ugly. And here's what I'm getting at. If it's nipped in the bud by the Hells Angels and they set a precedent for the rest of America, that's going to be huge. And that's going to open up a whole, can of worms against these migrants, that they're going to not want to be a part of this. They're not going to want to see the wrath that the Japanese emperor said was the reason why they didn't continue on from Pearl Harbor, because there would be a rifle behind every blade of grass. Mm-hmm. That was 70 years ago.
Yep.
80 years ago. Now there's a rifle, a handgun, a semi-automatic weapon behind every single blade of grass, without question.
If they ain't got bullets, they got arrows.
Yeah.
It's a, you know, I know, I know guys who, they say, well, I'm afraid of firearms. And I said to him, I says, have you ever thought about shooting a bow? And they see how easy it is to learn how to shoot a bow. And, whereas they were not hunters before because they didn't care for the firearms, they are now bow hunters. So they've got experience, and yeah, these are the kind of things that people need to think about. Is if you don't have guns, and you are afraid, because of the different the different things going on, then get yourself a bow. Maybe get a crossbow. You know, crossbows are a lot easier to use, but I mean, you've got to have the pull power in order to reset it. But think about what you could do to defend yourselves. And that right there. Roland just made a very perfectly legitimate comment. He says bows are quieter, but get the job done. So they're not hearing bullets going off to give them warning that somebody knows that they're there. Somebody with good night vision could,
Yep.
yeah, you could very well be taking them out before they could even step foot on the property.
I got a nice crossbow. I traded it years ago for coaching the CEO of the company's children, and he gave me the top of the line crossbow.
I got a short sword, and I got a spoon.
Did you say spoon?
Yeah. Because if I'm nowhere, when I go outside, the spoon is always in my pocket. I actually carry two spoons because I can clank the spoons together, and the dogs will come running. But
really?
At the same time, this spoon here is sharpened. Has got a fine sharpened edge on it, and anything that I need to continue the battle, I'll get off the first body I step over, and I'll take them out with a spoon. Marine Corps teaches you how to use things that are unconventional. And
so basically, you made a spork, is what you're telling us. Kind of.
No, there's no. It would be a spife.
Spike. Nice.
A spife. SPIFE. Spife.
Spife. Oh, nice. Okay, I like it.
It's a spoon knife kind of thing.
Nice. Thank you to Stacy Holcomb. Much appreciated for your support. So this is going to be really interesting. So you were saying, just to get a timeline on this, when your friend came, they're going to be in Colorado when?
They should be getting into Colorado on Tuesday morning, very early Tuesday morning.
Okay.
And because they did say that they had a stopover in Idaho. They were meeting up this evening. They were going up to Washington tomorrow, and then would be heading towards Colorado the following morning. So I would say that they would roll into Colorado Tuesday morning, very early. At the same time, those guys traveling from the East Coast that put their videos up saying, we started as 3 and we've picked up 10 more already.
Yep.
And God only knows how many more they'll pick up along the way. So it's kind of, but this is the thing. He clearly stated, we are going to Colorado. I said to him, are you going to Aurora? And he says, we're going to Colorado.
Well, kind of like Q, you don't want to forecast what you're doing, just like in any operation, right? You don't want to forecast it too much. Because you do want
back to you, age of accountability, simplify back to you.
Say again, I'm sorry.
When somebody types in simplify, generally I right off the bat, I give it right back to them, and I didn't want to interrupt you talking And so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No worries. So they don't want to project, right? They need to keep somewhat of of an element of surprise.
Exactly. Exactly.
So-
You know, it's because they could go into Colorado and it could be a day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days before they would make the trip over to that particular town. You know, they're not going to announce what day they're coming. That's the last thing that they'll do.
Right.
It just them coming into state should put everybody on notice. But anything beyond that, they're not gonna project their moves, not one
Right.
bit.
Right. So, you know, the other thing is Nana Green Jeans says, Dave, do you think anyone will interfere with the travels to Colorado? And I would say that the problem is you have these woke, people who are not only not doing anything about the actual crime that's taking place, but they're also going to stop Americans from doing something about the crime that's taking place. And this is one of the biggest tragedies. But they can't they can't do anything if they don't know where they're going or what they're doing, and that's why they're probably keeping it really on the download, right?
Yep. Yep.
And so and we saw this,
And I did ask permission to say what I said on the podcast.
Cool. Yeah.
Before saying it. So so he was aware that I was gonna make a statement about it.
Cool.
But I wasn't, I was gonna say that's why I think that he was very specific in what he said. And that comment right there, police won't mess with them. This is the thing this is what he stated was his concern was that if people did roll into Aurora, what is the governor going to order? What is the mayor going to order? What are the police captain and the sheriff going to order? Those are things that we do have to look at when this type of a scenario is out there. Is the governor going to call out the National Guard against the bikers?
Right. Yeah. Well, this is something that I think, like I said, if it gets nipped in the bud, if they let them do what they need to do, then I believe this is going to send a message, and it's going to quell a lot of the. So here's what's really, really important here, folks, to really make sure we wrap our head around. Okay. The riots, the Summer of Love 2020, Antifa and BLM and all the Antifa members, they were told, if you do your looting in this town, if you do your rioting in this town, you won't go to jail, that you won't get arrested, and if you do get arrested, we're going to bail you out right away. They're going to either release you or we're going to put up your bail. That's what Kamala Harris did in Minnesota. And where, Tim Walz was one of the worst governors in the United States with what happened. They destroyed, Minneapolis.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
So what's important to understand here is that these migrants may have already been told, these gangs, go ahead and do this. We're not going to do anything. And that gave them the freedom to say, okay, we're not going to be deported. We're going to take over this thing, because this is part of the chaos. This is the summer of love plus 2024 of what happened in 2020. and there's going to be major conflicts that they are instigating. And so that's the thing that bothers me about these Hells Angels, if they're going up there, that they may be stopped because this is a part of the plan by the Black Hats, and quite possibly by the White Hats as well, to show, is this what you want? Open borders? Is this what you want? Is this what we're going to have day in and day out? It coming to a city near you. Everybody needs to fear this. Everybody needs to be aware of what's going on here.
Yeah.
And so
could this be utilized as a precipice moment?
Right. Pushing people to the precipice, right? Like coming to your neighborhood near you, right?
Yep.
Oh gosh, here they come. They're gonna take over this complex and this complex, and the governments aren't going to do anything about it. And the governments are all Democrat, in these big cities. So they're going to see, what the woke policies in place, which is going to be very interesting to see how this unfolds. Very interesting.
But if there was no legitimacy to any clubs going there, do you want to know what? The clubs would be on TV saying it. They would be on the internet saying it. We're not going there. They would just make the statement.
Okay.
Because they could give two fucks, Dave. They could give two fucks. So it's the idea that if they weren't going, I have a feeling that they would step up and say something. And when you're going to attack, do you broadcast how you're going to attack, when you're going to attack?
Right.
No. So they've been silent.
Right. Which tells us that's probably what they're doing.
But I'm neither confirming nor denying anything, where they are concerned. I'm not a Hell's Angel. I don't belong to a bike club. I've rode with quite a few bike clubs through the years. I've never patched in. I've had great friends of bike clubs. I used to perform for a lot of the bike clubs with the band. And we would have multiple clubs together, that would be at these gatherings. And let me tell you, these guys weren't fighting each other. If there was a scuffle, it was done out in the parking lot. Nothing was ever done in the clubs. What you see on TV about bikers is not necessarily, in most cases, they just want to be left the fuck alone. It's that simple. They just want to be left alone. That's what their MO has always been. Leave us alone. We'll leave you alone. But there is a certain point where the clubs will allow propaganda to be pushed in their name. And that's why I'm saying I'm neither confirming nor denying. I'm not saying that it is going to happen. I'm not saying it's not going to happen. I'm staying right in the middle of it. I'm only delivering what I hear from guys that I know that ride, and these guys, they're legit. They're not like fellow Marines and stuff. Fellow Marines, I would never ever drop a name or anything like that. Same thing with the clubs. You never drop a name because that'll come back to bite you in the ass. And where it comes to a fellow Marine, you don't want to expose another Marine to any act that you're involved with. You don't put that kind of stuff out there. But honestly, if I have all these dogs and I had a bike here, I'd be on my way there.
I don't talk about this much, but I used to be a part of a bike gang. And we all used to have to, put the playing cards in our spokes. Right.
Yep.
So, they were 3 speeds. Okay. But it was a bike gang. Okay. And we were feared across the whole neighborhood. All right. Don't mess with the playing card spokes. People, they're you can hear them coming, clickety clack, clickety clack, clickety clack.
Yeah. Well, the one thing about biker clubs, and this is all biker clubs, there are two things you don't mess with. You don't mess with the elderly, and you definitely don't fuck with the children.
Well, you can guarantee
You know,
that both of those happened in Aurora
oh, absolutely.
multiple times.
You mess with kids, I don't care who you are. And this I'll tell you, I've seen it myself. I saw it in Pennsylvania. I saw it in Michigan. Saw it in Connecticut. I saw it here in Oregon, and I've seen it up in Washington, where these guys will go in with child victims and sit in the row directly behind where the child is, and in some cases they'll be seated at the table with the child, so the child never has to see the attacker, and the attacker has no, or the assaulter has no ability to intimidate the child. And let me tell you, when you got 15 to 20 bikers sitting in that front row or at the table, with the child, you don't mess around. You don't mess around. And then by the time you get to prison, you'll end up meeting some new bikers anyways.
Yeah.
That's just a fact.
Well, it's going to be very interesting, and what we're going to see, and I've said this, you've heard me say this many times, is that when you have law enforcement and politicians whose job it is to enforce the law, and they don't enforce the law, you now have two crimes.
Yep.
The crime of the criminal who broke the law, and the crime of the person who is supposed to be, bringing justice to those who broke the law.
Yep. I used to have a 3-speed bike. Oh.
Well, that was my biker gang. We all had 3 speeds.
Yeah. It was,
yeah.
I was in a 10-speed gang for a while, and then a 12-speed, because it's, I'll tell you, when the 12-speed came out, that made a lot of people happy, especially out at Camp Pendleton. You got so much distance between Las Pulgas and El Toro. Man, with a 12-speed, you were making good time, really good time.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Norma says, when I was hiding from a domestic situation, I lived in the middle of 81 territory, and many times they came to make sure I was okay and not being hassled by my ex. I felt very safe as a HA neighborhood.
Yep.
A Hells Angels neighbor.
Yep. They do. They look out for their communities, but understand this: if you're an ass, they'll let you take a whooping. But if you are a stand-up individual who does right by their community, does right by their neighbors, they'll step up for you.
Yeah.
And that comment that Vic 414 put up, I don't know if you saw that one, but it was this here. The Hells Angels have more moral values.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I hit the wrong button. Go ahead and hit yours again. Okay, go ahead.
The Hells Angels have more moral values than our own government and politicians. And that's why I said they are totally, like I said, when they break up with a woman, and if they have a kid together, he doesn't downtrod the woman, because the woman's going to be raising that kid. He's not going to disrespect her. He's not going to allow the child to disrespect her. Okay.
Right.
And he's going to provide for them. Okay. Because it's accountability, self-accountability is 100% of what that boils down to. And they do take accountability for the things that they do. They step up. They speak it. They speak it,
Yeah.
And you think about it, military wise, the Hells Angels have done so many things for the military throughout the years, from the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, doing bike runs for military families, things like that, doing veterans runs, everything all the way down the line. 60% of all bikers in the United States are veterans.
Is that right?
Yeah, 60%.
Wow. Wow. I did not know that. 60%. That's huge, brother.
Yep.
Accountability, which has gone missing in the Biden-Harris circus. Hey, dude, that was Hawk's doggies. There's no one out there. That's Hawk's doggies. Yeah, accountability, which has gone missing in the Biden-Harris circus. Norma, 100% much respect for their community support. And thanks for sharing your story, Norma. That's I'm sorry that you had to go through that, and how great that you had, somebody that could put the fear of God in your ex to
leave you
to
the hell alone.
keep them. Yeah, to leave you alone. So
And
yeah.
they're not just going out there saying, you drive by, we're going to beat you up. They're you go and you knock on that door and you cause any problems, we're going to step up and we're going to make sure that nothing going on. And yeah, that's not a meeting you want to have. That's like asking, a soldier to arrange a meeting with Christ, because that's what you'd be doing,
Right. Hey,
Yeah.
Wayne says, I can't count the times I've been held at gunpoint. Wayne, where was that? Yeah, I have a dog, and he and Mr. Whistle Whiskers get along. They tolerate each other, but Mr. Whistle Whiskers doesn't live with me full time. Just Jasper, because he's with my ex.
He's got visitation rights, though.
I do. Yes, I do. Whenever they go out of town. Carlene, I have family lives in Colorado. Are they anywhere near Aurora? Are they seeing any of that there? Well, just shifting gears away from that, what this thing about Kamala politicizing the Arlington cemetery is really a beautiful thing, because it just shows the hypocrisy. And here she's talking about, Trump politicizing Arlington National Cemetery, which is inconceivable to her. Meanwhile, she's politicizing Arlington National Cemetery and the dead soldiers, and criticizing the families for having Trump there. It's blowing up in her face big time. I think it's again, Hawk. I mean, this could be a white hat script without question.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. It seems that there's, did you see the Gateway Pundit article today about Kamala?
No.
It showed in the article, they had 6 interviews with 6 of the families. And they all did 1 minute and 30 to 1 minute and 50-second clips.
I did see that. Chuck Callesto retruthed that. Let me pull that up. I think that'd be good for us all to hear. But go ahead. Please continue. And I'll look for it.
It was today. I made it a point to make sure that I shared that with everybody, because of the fact of the individual 6 stories really tell you a whole lot about the administration, how the administration handled everything in regards to what happened in the Afghan withdrawal, what happened at Abbey Gate, and the fact that the administration has never once reached out to any of the families. They weren't there to meet the bodies in Dover, yeah, it's just like, yeah, it's like very not cool, very not cool. And I think that it is in the long run is very seriously going to hurt the contention, of what we're going to see in the long run here. I think that Trump was an excuse, is an excuse for them, and that's it. There is no meat and bones to it, and it was very clear in the article that the Gateway put out that it was just you can't um, there's no way to come back from that. Plus Tulsi Gabbard did an interview with I think it was, I don't know if it was CNN. What was it? CNN? Dana Bash, I think it was, the blonde-haired lady, news anchor, Dana Bash. She did an interview with him, or with Tulsi Gabbard, and that there was a lot of tells in that conversation as well. So this could be very, very, very something else. Did you find the one that I was talking about, Dave?
No, but I'm gonna play a couple. I'm gonna play a couple. Oh, you put it in private chat. Is it the article or the?
Yeah, I'm gonna put it.
Is it the article?
It's the article,
or the
and
video?
in the article are the 6 videos.
Okay, great.
They're on the page.
Okay.
Yeah, so just scroll down. All 6 of them are in the same spot. You don't have to try and find each one feed by feed and everything else. So it's all on one page.
All right, here we go. Here we go. Let me see here. Okay, perfect. Thank you. All right, let me pull
I'm
it
also
up
going to
for-
drop the link into the chat. Yeah, I'm going to drop the link into the chat for people, because I would love it if you guys posted this on your Facebook, on your X, on your whatever platforms you're on. If you're on Truth Social, drop it on Truth Social. Share this out so that people get to see these.
Yeah.
Vice President Harris, my name is Steve Nakui. I'm the father of Lance Corporal Kareem M. Nakui. And your administration killed my son, deliberately in exchange for political theatrics, so you could have a final day of the evacuation coincide with September 11th. Ignoring the advice of your generals, the Doha Agreement, and countless other veterans and members of Congress. Denying the safety of the Afghans and the servicemen and women. Your choice to play politics in 2021 killed 170 Afghans, 13 U.S. service members, and wounded 45 of our service members, as well as countless Afghans. You were not at Dover for the dignified transfer. At no time have you reached out to me to offer your condolences, to offer thank you for Kareem's sacrifice and service. Not once have you honored him by saying his name, so I said it for you. You have disparaged all 13 who have lost their lives as well as their families, exhibiting your lack of gratitude by your silence. I agree with you on one thing, that a person like you should never and will never stand behind the seal of presidency. You are a DEI vice president, and contrary to our kids, the worst that America has to offer. I will pray for you, that God has mercy on your soul.
My name is Coral Dulero. I am Corporal Humberto Sanchez's mother. This is my statement of what happened on August 26, 2024. My son is not buried in Arlington, but I really feel like when President Trump went and paid tribute and paid his respect in Arlington for our kids, it was not just the ones buried in there. It was for all of our kids, and it was an invitation that the families actually extend to him, and it's not the first time that he actually meet with us and share time and with our families. After 3 years until now, Kamala Harris and President Biden didn't even say their 13 names. They called the withdrawal in Afghanistan a success. And for us, it was just sadness and a disgrace. They are the responsible persons of murdering our kids. And until these days, they did not give us a meeting. They did not accept to meet with us and give us an explanation of what happened. Being him the commander-in-chief, he definitely left our kids behind and just to fill the agenda of his prior commitments. I invite Kamala Harris and Joe Biden to accept the meeting with us and meet with us and explain us what was the whole deal behind the withdrawal in Afghanistan. I think that as a parents, we deserve a explanation and we deserve the truth of what happened with our kids that day.
Kamala, your statement is nothing more than a political spin to help you look better in your presidential campaign against Donald Trump. You have never walked a single day in our shoes. Our kids were murdered because of your administration, and you are partly to blame for that as well. What happened at Arlington was President Trump was invited by those families who have their soldiers buried at Arlington. They were invited there as a friend, as somebody who has taken the time numerous times on numerous occasions to hear our stories, to speak our kids' names, and to help us get some accountability from your administration, because in over 3 years, we have gotten nothing but more and more lies. Just like your statement, more and more spun lies and cover-ups to make you and your administration look good. But there is one thing that you said in your statement that was true. No one should be running for president if they cannot honor military members, their families, as well as veterans. So I guess that means that you should step down, Kamala.
This is Mark Schmitz, Gold Star father of Marine Lance Corporal Jared Schmitz. Here we are on a beautiful holiday weekend day. I got to stop what I'm doing, spending time with what's left of my family, to address a heinous, vile, and disgusting post put out by Kamala Harris, trying to incite those that don't follow the truth that President Trump was in Arlington as a political stunt. Shows you how much you know about the 13 families. We invited him to be there. Groundwork was put into place by Congressman Ice's office to make sure we followed protocol. Why did we want Trump there? It wasn't to help his political campaign. We wanted a leader. That explains why you and Joe didn't get a call. Imagine for a second that your kid is killed, and there's a president of the United States willing to take you under his wing and listen to you. That's what we found in President Trump. Certainly not you, and certainly not Joe Biden. You have 13 families who have been waiting over 3 years to so much as get a phone call, to so much as hear our kids' names said aloud in the halls of Congress, at a State of the Union, hell, anything. The irony behind your post that you give a rat's ass about our military or our veterans, Jared's brothers and sisters in arms, the rest of the 12, their brothers and sisters in arms, is an outright lie. We're living proof of that. You're despicable. You have zero business running this country. And I pray to God, Americans, wake the hell up and get your ass out of office. You have spit in our face for the last fucking time.
My name is Darren Hoover, and I'm the Gold Star father of United States Marine Corps Staff Sergeant Taylor Hoover. Kamala, I want you to understand, and I know it will be difficult for you because you lack empathy and basic understanding. The events that happened on August 26, 2024, with President Trump at Arlington National Cemetery were solemn and in keeping with the reverence and respect that is given to all members of our military that are buried there. We invited President Trump. We are the ones that asked for the video and the pictures to be taken at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. This was a very solemn wreath laying in our son's name, along with the Sergeant Nicole G family, as well as two of our catastrophically injured military members that were there on that horrific day in the honor of our Abbey Gate 13. We then moved to the gravesite where our children are buried. Again, we asked the Trump team to take the videos, take the pictures of our time there. President Trump then laid a wreath at the graveside of Army Staff Sergeant Ryan Christian Canals. There he talked to both his mother and father. President Trump then moved to our son's grave, where we were surrounded by our family and friends, where we talked about Taylor and his sacrifice to this country. Let me be clear. There was no politics discussed, none whatsoever. There was also not an assault that we observed take place, or did we hear it? I don't know where this is coming from, but it's disgusting and gross. President Trump has been there for us from the very beginning, when our son and the other 12 of his brothers and sisters in arms were murdered due to your negligence and uncaring attitude towards our military. Don't forget, Kamala, you were the last one in the room. You and Joe Biden made the final decision on how to pull out of Afghanistan. You created the chaos and mayhem for the military to accomplish their goals. Our sons and daughters made the best of a difficult situation, as they had been trained to do. They adapted and overcame all of that and came out as heroes, something that you will never know or understand. Kamala, we have been treated with the utmost respect, compassion, and understanding by President Trump, something you and Joe Biden have refused to do since August 26, 2021. No, where were you and Joe Biden on August 26, 2024? Nowhere near Arlington Cemetery. You couldn't be bothered to be with us or even say our kids' names, just as you had done for the last 3 years. Neither one of you have called to speak with us or share in our grief. I wonder, Kamala, do you sleep at night securely in your bed, or do you have nightmares of our kids because it was your incompetence and negligence that got our kids murdered? It is you who sends out messages on social media that are outright lies. It is you that has disrespected our families. It is you who knows nothing about service and sacrifice. It is you that has divided this country, and it is you who is unfit to be the commander-in-chief. These are the only memories we get to make with our son, and it is you who is playing politics and trying to detract from our memories made that day. You should be ashamed and embarrassed at your lack of empathy and decency as a human being. You are only in this for the power and prestige. You don't care for our military or the citizens of this country. You should hang your head in shame at your actions or lack thereof. You need to move aside, get out of the way, and stop hindering the progress, growth, and independence of this great nation.
That powerful, man. Powerful.
Yeah, his was the longest. The rest of them are like a minute and 30, minute and 40 seconds.
Yeah, but how telling that they haven't heard from anything out of Harris or Biden, and
very few government officials, such as senators, congressmen, so on and so forth. Everybody seemed to distance themselves governmental wise from these families. And the thing is there were multiple times that he was talking that he was about to break.
Yep. Yeah.
And you as a director, you can catch signs of that when it's faked and when it's real. Yeah. And let me tell you, the emotions that man carried were 100% real. No doubt about it.
Yep. All right, here we go. Jim McCollum.
Vice President Harris, my name is Jim McCollum. I am the Gold Star father of United States Marine Corps Lance Corporal Riley McCollum, killed in Afghanistan, August 26, 2021. Your recent remarks related to Trump's visit to Arlington are filled with nothing but lies and deceit. How do you sleep at night knowing it was you, this administration, you and Biden, you being the last one in the room, are responsible for the death of our 13 kids? You have failed for 3 years and 8 months to acknowledge our kids, to acknowledge me. You don't know me. You've never spoken to me. You've never reached out to me. You have failed in your duties as vice president. You have been nothing but disrespectful to me and the families of the 13. Yet you're claiming that you will always be respectful and show respect for our fallen. You've been absent for 3 years and 8 months. You've proven that you're not capable to do the job that you have, let alone the job that you seek. You know nothing about honor, courage, commitment, respect, but President Trump does. President Trump has been there for us. He's been a rock for us. He showed compassion for us, and he showed he truly cares for the families that truly do know what the ultimate sacrifice really is. You have the day you deserve.
Vice President Harris, my name is Christy Shamblin. My daughter-in-law, Sergeant Nicole Leanne G., was killed in the Afghanistan exit at Abbey Gate on August 26, 2021. This year, for the 3rd year anniversary of her murder, we welcome President Donald J. Trump to Arlington to lay a wreath on the tomb of the unknown soldier with our family and to visit Nicole graveside. President Trump and his team were respectful. They listened to our stories and didn't talk much at all. We welcomed them that day and they were comfort to our family. Vice President Harris, I ask you, why won't you return a call and explain to us how you call my daughter-in-law's death a success? Vice President Harris, why will you not express your condolences yourself? Why have we never heard from you? And finally, why would you take a day where we celebrated the death of our loved one
and use it to disparage not only them, but us. President Trump has called, President Trump shows up, and President Trump takes the time to hear our loved ones' stories. Why won't you do the same?
That was so powerful.
Good afternoon. My name is Herman Lopez. I'm a Gold Star father. My son, Corporal Hunter Lopez, was a U.S. Marine killed in action on August 26, 2021. This message is intended for Vice President Kamala Harris. I'm not a person who usually takes to social media, but earlier today, your post regarding the incident at Arlington National Cemetery was brought to my attention. After reading it, it caused a reaction with me. You indicated in your post that you support the military and military families. I, for one, have not seen that support. It's been 3 years since my son was killed in action, and myself, my family, and other Gold Star families have not seen any support from you or your administration. You may make hollow promises about the economy or anything else you'd like to make promises about. But one thing that I ask of you, and the reason I'm making this message, is for you to stop making comments about your support for the military. As a Gold Star father, I know that you have not supported us. I know that you have not supported other Gold Star families. Please stop making these types of comments because that support has not been demonstrated. Your words are hollow and empty. My other request is that for the American public to know that these messages, these promises from Kamala Harris, especially in regard to supporting the military and our military families, are false and baseless. They have not been proven, and she has not earned our respect. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Very short, very to the point, you know. And he, you know, his message wasn't just for Kamala Harris, but it was to the American people as well. You know, and sometimes the American people need to hear it, you know, that, in a clear and concise way, that this administration was not there for us, that they were not there to provide the things that we needed, the emotional support that we needed, the honoring of the children that gave their lives, protecting the Afghan people.
And this is Kamala and Joe at Arlington National Cemetery being video taped as a spectacle. Meanwhile, she criticizes Trump for doing that. And the bottom line is, you know, Hawk, she had to do that. She had to say that.
Yep.
Why? Because she was absent, because Biden was absent. Remember, these were the men and women who, you know, that Joe was checking his watch when the caskets went by.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's just tragic. And so the hypocrisy here is absolutely screaming at us to take a look at. Okay. If you're not allowed to film, why were you posing for the cameras and all glammed up? You're a hypocrite and a liar.
Well, not only that, but
was
Joe
Laura
made a
Loomer.
commercial. You know, Joe had a campaign ad that had pictures and of him at the cemetery with families walking through the tombstones. It was like a 30-second advertisement in the 2020 election. So they have a lot of gumption going at Trump in this way, and Trump hasn't utilized it in any way to further his campaign. Now, he does talk about the topic of what happened because it is a topic that every American should know about. But never has it been disrespected in any way or dishonored.
Yep. Yeah. And that was a low blow, but you know, her whole campaign, this is him checking his watch as the caskets rolled by. Absolutely unforgivable.
And there were family members standing there.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely unimaginable. Here he is checking his watch, and these are the service men and two women um, that were killed on that day. And God bless them all, and God bless our country, and for the people who are awakening to see this level of hypocrisy and grandstanding, so that we can finally start to uh, hold people accountable and really take it to the next level. And you remember when Kamala laughed when it was right after it happened, and it was uh, let me see. And she was asked by a reporter. They kind of jumped on it because, it's like they wanted to see what she had to say. She was at the airport, and she started laughing. I'll take it. Okay, okay, hold on, and she starts laughing, cackling. And then she said,
never answered the question.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It was tragic. So, this is, if I'll tell you this, Hawk, if the only good that comes out of the death of those 13 is that people absolutely are done with Kamala and Biden, then, maybe their deaths, were not in vain, right?
Right.
Like, for any death in any war or any situation, you want to find the good in it. You want to find the silver lining, if you will, because you don't want those people to have died in vain.
Mm.
And that's how it's felt about Afghanistan, this whole fiasco.
Mm-hmm.
And so maybe these men and two women are, they're having a resurgence, if you will, and knocking out a complete plant in our White House.
Yep. Well, the one thing we have to think about is this: a soldier is somebody's child, somebody's brother, somebody's sister. Okay. Somebody's grandchild. We have to think about our connection through generations, and the sacrifices that are made in order to, uh, you know, uh, glorify the military. And we know the military is not innocent in all of this, because we know that there is
Right.
a part of the military that is part of that military industrial complex that we were warned about all those years ago. you know and and now we're seeing the hypocrisy in the nation's leaders, governmental wise. Never mind what the general public had personal feelings on, whether they liked war or hated war or whatever. Um, the two that were fine tuned and put in front of everybody was, well, three. It showed that the lack of intelligence that was going on during that period of time, that was no longer under Trump's control. Okay.
Right.
So, because with proper intel, it could have been stopped well before any of that situation happened. Okay. Then we saw military command, the command structure that basically told the sniper that could have taken that guy out to stand down. So we see the corruption where the military is concerned. And then we see the admonishment, or the what is that? admonishment of the parents to the government now for not even contacting them, and thanking them for their service and everything else.
Yep.
Again, that's somebody's brother, sister.
Yeah. And
or
we didn't
child.
know that. We didn't know that they hadn't contacted them. This is coming out into the light after that. Listen, if I'm writing the white hat script, I'm saying, hey, Hawk, we gotta have Kamala say something stupid about Trump at Arlington. Boom. Let's throw this in, and then that'll raise people's ire. That will bring people to their precipice and possibly expose some of the things that they have not done. TX Patriot JB says, I'm a Gold Star son. It's all bullshit. The way families are treated, our veterans, etc. Until Trump, no one cared, honestly. Well, thank you for your sacrifice, TX Patriot JB. That's
Absolutely.
that must be very, very difficult. And I agree. The way I've seen one of the first things Trump did, Hawk, the VA, right? You couldn't be hired. You couldn't be fired if you were at the VA.
Yep.
So here comes Mr. Fire, from the Apprentice, right? You're fired, right? He
ran
comes
it like
in
a
and
corporation.
yep, and he says, "Listen, you have to be able to fire people, okay? If you're treating our veterans unfairly, if you're not taking care of our veterans, you're gone." And it shifted overnight from what I heard. We have a lot of military families in our audience, and I heard it right away that, wow, what a difference, because people are now being held accountable.
The fact that you didn't even have to go to the VA, that you could go to a local doctor. It's here in Oregon. You basically you have two different VAs that you can go to. One's towards the east or towards the southern end of Oregon, and then the other one's up in the Portland area. You think about the miles that these guys got to drive 300, 400, 500 miles.
Right.
They've got to, they've got to make their appointments months in advance. And then with the possibility of being called the day before saying, oh, we don't have time to see you tomorrow. But it'll be another 30 days, Trump gave you the option of being able to go to a local doctor, and that the VA would cover the costs. That saved so many, especially the elderly veterans, the guys who are still alive from the end of World War II, from Korea, from Vietnam, and then you got your Afghan and you got the African police action that went on. You have the Iraqi. You have the Kuwaiti defense. Of 2000, 2001. Desert Storm. All of these different things. Basically, or I'm sorry, 90, 91. And then the kickoff in 2001 of September 11th. You think about the amount of boys who signed up, in comparison to 1991, in the build up for, Enduring Freedom and the Operation Desert Shield, and then Operation Desert Storm. These guys, varied in age and everything, but you think about what happened in 2001 with 9/11 and how many kids signed up right after that happened. Our military was at capacity. Now, on the Marine Corps side, there is always 250,000 active Marines. Okay. Now you've got another, I believe it is 74 to 75,000 that are just reservists with the ability to be called up, if needed. But there's only 250,000 Marines at any given time, whereas the other services have millions.
What are the numbers? 200.
250,000 active Marines at any given time. And then an additional 50 to 75,000 that are recallable, reserve.
Wow. Well, I tell you, that's it really does need to have a shift in the way that we treat our veterans, in the way that we treat our military. And when you see what's happening with the CV jab and all that, and how the military are being vindicated for, bypassing that and so forth, it's a huge difference. It's a huge difference. In the way we should be doing it versus the way we're doing it. It's tragic.
It's like it's like thinking of just in 1950 alone, the battle for the chosen reservoir in Korea. It was one of the bloodiest battles, that go beyond what people can think. But there were very few Marines that took on thousands of North Koreans. And it was it was a it was the 7th Infantry Division, I think it was, and I think it was the 7th and the 3rd. I think the other one was the 3rd Infantry. And it was basically a 400-mile front. It was about 400 miles long, the front, and the chosen reservoir area. It's like the 3rd Infantry is out of I believe it's a first Marine Division. 7th Infantry Division is also from there. The amount of the amount of Marines that it took to take down all of these guys was incredible. The feats that they accomplished. But it was the Battle of the Chosen Reservoir, and definitely something to look into. I think it was like 25,000, and it was 25,000, and there was like 40 or 50 British Royal Marines that were also involved, and they faced I think it was well over I think it was 120,000. So it was like basically it was 20,000 against 100, 120,000, 150,000. And it was that was big, they didn't have a whole lot of reinforcements available to them, and the battle, the battle went on, for days, it's so when I think about the numbers of Marines, being at 250,000, to me, one Marine is worth an entire platoon, Army platoon, with the, between the knowledge and the skills.
Is that right?
Yeah. The only ones that I put above that would be Rangers, Rangers and Green Berets. I put them at the level of your average infantry Marine.
Interesting. Well, I tell you, hearing about 60% of them being Hell's Angels is very significant in the way that things might go down in Aurora, Colorado, because this is definitely something that we need to see being nipped in the bud. And if it's not nipped in the bud, we've got a long couple months ahead of us.
Yeah. Because that's going to spread. Because if they can get away with it there, they're going to do it in other communities as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not going to stay there. It'll be in every state.
Yeah. The other thing I wanted to say is I wanted to bring up this Tim Walz brother. Have you seen that?
Yep, Jeff Walz. Yep. Yeah, we actually talked about him today on my podcast. When I was reading some of the statements made by Kamala and then Tim Walz himself put out a statement, and I was like, as I was reading his statement to everybody, I was like, wait till your brother comes out. He basically said that he's not the kind of guy you want leading this country.
Not the type of character you want making decisions about your future, he said in a comment. I haven't spoken to him in 8 years. I'm 100% opposed to all his ideology. My family wasn't given any choice that he was selected and denied security the days after. All the comments stem from a March 30th, 2023 post after Trump was convicted, where Jeff Walz said, "We've just become a third world banana republic." Interesting.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mark says Walz was asked about hostages today when he was in at a town in was it the Minnesota State Fair? I think it was. He ignored the question and walked away. Yep, just walked away and went to somebody else asking other questions. Photo ops and everything else.
Yeah, what's the situation with the hostages?
Well, they were talking about the hostages in Gaza, and one of them was an American. They found 8 bodies. They got 8 bodies back from Hamas, and one of them was an American. And people want answers.
Right.
They could have had a team in there setting up negotiations and negotiating peace talks. That's what Trump would have done. He would have had a statesman there dealing with it and finding and brokering a way to peace. It was Trump has always said, he says, I'm not for one side or the other. And I think that when he stated that, he wasn't talking about the true Israel. He was talking about those fake ass Jews that are pretending to be Israel,
Right.
So saying that he didn't want to get in the middle of that, but he said, very clearly, he says, when I was in office, we had peace. We had the Abraham Accords.
Yep.
That took a lot of work to get that. And because RN Mafia, Martin, yep, you're right.
War News has her sights set on Kamala. War News, if you don't know, folks, has dropped Obama, Hillary, Bill Clinton, Brennan, Clapper, all the major players, Comey, as treasonous. Whoever owing allegiance to the United States levies war against them or adheres to their enemies, giving them aid and comfort within the United States or elsewhere, is guilty of treason and shall suffer death. 18 U.S.C. 2381, treason, Kamala Devi Harris. Something to note that I believe was brought up by Ariel recently was War News has never been hit with any defamation.
Yep.
Why is that? If she's saying that these people are traitorous and if guilty of treason shall suffer death, and is guilty of treason and shall suffer death, and has not had one defamation case against her.
Yep.
What's it tell you? Right. And
yeah, well, I mean, I think about getting kicked off of X myself. You know, Adam Schiff could have come after me after I outed him about the Chateau Marmont and the little boy that he was involved with that died
Right.
while during a sex act, and the death of Anthony Bourdain. Adam Schiff could have come back and filed some type of legal action, and then Chuck Schumer, you know, being called out for liking little black girls, 8 to 10 years old, and his frequent trips to the island. They could have sued me, you know, for defamation if it wasn't true.
Oh yeah, I've called all these people out, and but I've done it in such a way. You've done it in such a way that it's provable. We know they went to the island. We know what they do. You know, at the island. You know, there's no other reason to go. Marta thinks Anthony Bourdain could still be alive. Wayne says Trump is a trumpet. Yeah, which
Kim Clement said that.
Kim Clement, yeah. Good stuff. You know, Musk is being attacked, obviously, with Brazil, and England. You know, the European Union sent him something about cease and desist with, you know, what's happening on X because they've lost their traction on X.
Mm-hmm.
And in New York,
then Kamala made a statement as well. Kamala stated in an interview that
shutting down X.
Yep.
She threatened to shut down X. She said, "We'll shut it down." Yeah. And the New York Times came out with an article today. The Constitution is sacred. Is it also dangerous? One of the biggest threats to America's politics might be the country's founding document. This is the New York Times, partially, I believe, still owned partially by Carlos Slim, who is the billionaire Mexican who has also contributed to the Clinton Foundation, heavily involved in the Clinton Foundation, and that's and there, you know, Musk was calling them out today, and said in his tweet, they want to overthrow the Constitution. This is no joke. This is what they want. They want to take away your First Amendment right, freedom of speech. They want to take away your Second Amendment right, the right to own and you know, own guns, but also they take away our right to bear weapons. Which is if you're not bearing a weapon, it's not going to do you any fucking good. So they take away your ability to bear, and both of those shall not be infringed. So they're taking that away. They're taking away the Fourth Amendment right to search and seizure. They're even, so it's this is exactly what they're all about. This is exactly part of the downfall of our civilization, is actually losing these people, eroding our actual amendment rights. Yeah.
Yep.
This is just 4 hours ago. These are the election, the folks in Georgia. I don't know if you covered any of this.
Thank you for covering.
No, I didn't. Oh, yeah, I covered that about a week ago.
This was just 4 hours ago. Is this part a week ago?
Yeah, this is. It's like almost 2 weeks old.
Which is the one that? And what are they saying there?
I just put one in. They're talking about the Georgia elections, and that they served they served
Brian
the
Kemp.
Secretary of State with all and Brian Kemp as well, with all the paperwork necessary in order to overturn the election.
Great.
With all the proof and everything. They went with all the proof. And there were 3 speakers that day as well. I also put something in the private chat for you to pull up regarding California. And I think that you will get a kick out of this.
Black Californians are threatening to withhold their vote from Kamala Harris after the state Democrat lawmakers decided not to give them slavery reparations. This is going to impact your friend Kamala Harris, who's running for president. Black Democrats are finally realizing that Democrats only care about giving freebies to illegals. They should vote for Trump. He's not going to give them handouts, but he will dismantle the system that's been plundering the community for centuries.
Speaking of bring the bills up now. These are their bills. They have their names on the bills. They killing their own bills because they scared of the government. Now, listen, they gonna see this and they gonna get mad at us. They killing their own bills, then they gonna get mad at us. They killing their own bills and they scared of the government. Okay? We don't care.
We need to
Bring the goddamn bills up now.
The governor needs to understand that the world is watching California, and this is going to have a direct impact on your friend Kamala Harris, who's running for president. This is going to have a direct impact. So pull up the bills now, vote on them, and sign them.
We have
We've
the
been
votes.
waiting for over 400 years.
Speaking of the
All right. Reparations, they can go fuck themselves. Okay. California wasn't a slave state. They weren't slaves. Their ancestors weren't slaves. Our ancestors weren't slave holders. So fuck the reparations and fuck you who are demanding.
But the eye opener part of that for the Black community in California to begin to pay attention to what is going on, like with Trump, instead of what's going on with Kamala and the color of her skin, could have a very, very big impact in the upcoming elections for governor, for any congressional or senatorial seats, as well as, the big federal election for president. And it's like, what they're it's kind of like what, because it wasn't the people who put the bill forward to get reparations. It was California who said that they were going to give every Black Californian a certain amount of money, in reparations. It was the state of California. It was the elected officials who said that they were going to do this. Now they've gone back on that. And this could be the turning point, or the flip, I guess we could call it, to watch California go red completely.
Yeah. I think California was red when I was there, but they just stole it.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think it's that way with honestly with all 50 states.
Yeah, and they kept us from. We voted Newsom out, and they rigged that too. This is the 405 freeway in Long Beach, California. Kamala Harris is an idiot.
Yep, and they got arrested.
Are you serious?
Yeah, they got arrested.
See, First Amendment right. First
Yep,
Amendment. They're taking
like
away.
an hour afterwards, after they hung that, they ended up getting arrested.
Unbelievable. On what charge?
It was something to do with obscuring. What do they call that when you intentionally intimidate traffic? You know, I don't remember. Obstruction of travel or something like that, or uh, promoting something to cause the disruption of travel, uh, some weird thing like that. But more than likely it'll get thrown out. Because like you said, it's a form of freedom of speech. I mean, if other people can go up there and hang up signs that say, vote for
Right.
Harris, then why shouldn't somebody be able to call Harris an idiot?
Exactly.
They're actually telling the truth in comparison.
Yep. Yep. Exactly.
Yeah, Mark. Yeah, same as a billboard. Yep.
Yeah.
It's nuts. Yeah.
Everybody just wants to be liked and accepted, except for free thinkers. Free thinkers don't give a shit.
That's right. We'll go up and then we'll pop a balloon just to see what happens.
Yeah.
I always wanted to be one of those guys sitting in the lawn chair.
Yeah,
with
yeah.
50 balloons tied to it, and then when I want to land someplace new, I just pop a couple and start slowly descending. Yeah.
Yep. We're over 2,500 right now in the Sned Shed, my friend, and the Hawk's Nest here. Welcome everybody. Thinking I want to wrap this up pretty soon, but do you have any thoughts you want to get across? Anything that we haven't covered that you think is important to mention?
Well, we had a couple of different things that came up this week. One was that comment put out by Nancy Pelosi about being a reptile, cold-blooded, not caring about things. That was one of the things that really stood out to me this week. The other thing was the Mark Zuckerberg revelations that went on in court. And somebody actually posted it. You might want to pull it up, Dave. Post number 1101, I think it was, that he put up. And something led that person to 1101. I don't remember what it was, but it was in the comments. And maybe they'll pipe up and type in again what led them to 1101. And it seems, everything in regards to this is in regards to Zuckerberg. Yeah.
Christmas in DC, who is arranging the private meetings? Yes, please pull up why we went here, by the way, not just because Zuckerberg. It could be just Zuckerberg, but MZ, Mark Zuckerberg, campaign contribution promises, FB Facebook donations since 4/2/18, fresh round, ours targeted, censorship, anti-Republican equals more money. How to mask, MZ personal donations, shell company, recent stock dump, avoid Facebook public disclosure, track congressional intake, reported, keep open, plus 6 months, loud with findings, retweet how DC swamp works. Money talks, drain the swamp. How do politicians access campaign contributions for personal use? The con. And then Q says, follow the family, reread drops. And what Q's talking about there is Mark Zuckerberg's wife.
Yeah.
And Mark is Priscilla Chan. Priscilla Chan is Chinese. And she went to Harvard, born in Braintree, Massachusetts. And she's the co-founder and co-CEO of Chan Zuckerberg Initiative and was responsible for a lot of those donations. Yeah.
You see Monty's response there?
No, because I'm in the...
he said that would have been hindering the right of way for traffic. Thank you very much for that, Monty.
Right. Yeah. Full Monty. Good to see you. Yeah, definitely, crock of shit. But yeah, good point. Yeah.
Oh, it was because of a Dan Scavino post that was put up tonight.
Okay, good. That's perfect. Perfect. Awesome.
She said Deborah said that she looked at she looked at the Central, Eastern, and military times.
Okay, nice. And the 1101, was that Eastern or military? Because we really only do, was it 11:01 a.m. the Scavino drop? Do we know?
I did not look because if I open it up, then it will slow down the podcast. I don't want to.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of asking her, because I know you're somewhat limited.
She said Central Time.
Okay, I don't normally go to that, but when it locks in like this one did, that's pretty big. So if that's Central Time, then it would have been 12:01.
Yeah, she says it was 11:01 p.m.
Okay, so that is and 12:01 is Seth Rich, WikiLeaks, Russian 2016 election, Trump card played, nice work, Q, and Q says Trump card coming. Because this hasn't gone down the way it needs to go down.
There's been a few times that he's done things that we thought that he was playing the Trump card.
Yeah.
We got to be honest and say that there's been a couple of different things that have been done and said that would have led me to believe that was a Trump card. But no, I have a feeling the Trump card is going to be something bigger than any of us ever could have dreamed of.
Yeah. 23:01 military time, Red October. Stay tuned and watch. Q plus. That's the military time of let's see, 12:01, 24:01. That would be 24:01. No. I'm sorry, 12. I'm tired.
It'd be 0001.
22:01. And
no, it would literally be post number 1.
Oh, right.
That's why they call it 0 dark 30.
Yeah, but it's 22. It's actually 22:01 and 23:01, I think.
Okay.
22:01 is Panic in DC. Rod Rosenstein required meeting number 2 with POTUS declined. That's because he was recording Trump. Hey, right. Hawk, go ahead and take over for a minute, would you?
Okay. Yep, we can do that. He's going to take the puppy outside, I think, for a minute, because that's the safe thing to do anytime the dog is heading towards a door like that. Then you get him out. Now, my dogs, they got their own dog doors, so they go in and out whenever they want. However, where Dave is at and the amount of deer that he has out there, I kind of like the idea that Dave gets out there with him every time. Plus, he's got a lot nicer weather than what we get, you know. So he'll be able to do that in the wintertime, probably in shorts and a t-shirt. Do I have the Q link that they're using? When I pull up the boards, let me see here. There we go. When I do the boards, I go to, I'm not going to say the name and I'm not going to put it into the chat. I'm just going to pull up the address and you can see it for yourself here. Let me make it full screen for a second. Here, let me kill my cam. Wasn't trying to remove myself. I just wanted to, there we go. Okay, and let me go full screen. And if you look up here at the top, you'll see where it says the .app that is there. That's where I go to. So when we were talking about the 1101, it was basically, so when you're looking for a post number, you do the hashtag 1101. And then it pulls up the post. And if you actually just click right on the number, it makes that bigger so that it makes it so that everybody else can read it on the screen as well, which is actually pretty cool. I actually like going like, oh, I can't do it with these ones, can I? Let me see. Does that do it to be full size? Sometimes I get lucky and I can get it to like cover the whole screen. So this is what Dave was just reading, you know. And this is another thing is that recent stock dumps. When I saw that line in this, what came to my mind was, the KKY just said it right on. You were thinking the same wavelength I am. Buffett's dump of millions of stocks. And I believe it was $680 million worth of stocks in Bank of America. So he is predicting a big drop in the financial market. Absolutely. He's pulling his money out and then he's going to turn around and he's going to invest that in gold or silver or platinum or palladium, you know, something that's going to have long-term value, and that he can convert back into whatever kind of cash we have later on.
Yep. Absolutely.
So that was the one line out of that particular drop that really, well, actually, no, there was a second one too, which was the Facebook disclosure, okay, which happened in the court or in the hearings this week, okay, track congressional intake reported, we saw all that, but then money talks. This line right here. Is he pulling his money out because of the fact that he's about to be linked to something? And yes, Buffett owned a lot of the trains that crashed. Yes, Buffering 100% correct.
By the way, that RT, I misspoke. That's Rex Tillerson in that RT,
right.
How deep the swamp works. And Rex Tillerson was very critical of Trump.
Very much so. Yep. And so was Bolton.
Sure.
Bolton was very was criticizing Trump, and Bolton really he had it made with Trump. He had it made with Trump. All he had to do was stay on the straight and narrow. But no, he wanted to play his own games and everything else. And what did he do? He turned on Trump the first opportunity he got.
Yep. T. Johnson says, I just joined X about 2 days ago. Welcome. And she said, it's the Wild West compared to True Social. Yeah, it's legit, folks. If you're not on X, I highly recommend getting on X. Highly recommend. It's a new battlefield.
Yeah. And the thing is if True Social allowed us to podcast to there, we'd be on there. We'd be doing this right there on on True Social. But until they get that kind of technology base going on,
Right.
this is what we have. I would love to be able to do this on True Social.
Yeah.
I've emailed Devin Nunes many times requesting information about if they're going to do this, but it only seems that they're offering something to the big podcasters, like Nino and guys like him. But screw us little guys,
Yeah. It'll come. Digital says, I worked for a Buffett company. Somehow he knew to get everyone laptops prior to the pandemic. Work from home was seamless. He knew.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't have that kind of money and not be in the loop.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah. So, all right, my friend. Well, I'm ready to cash it in. How about you?
Yeah. It's
You've had a long day.
I've got an early morning tomorrow. I have water coming in, and I have gas coming in the morning, and then I got a podcast at 11 tomorrow. So those of you that want to follow me, you can find me on Hawks Mustard Seeds number 25, and it's all one word though. And you can find me on X. I don't remember what the heck my X was.
Hawks Mustard 1 on X.
Hawks Mustard 1. And yeah, love to have you.
This is how you type it in on YouTube. Hawks Mustard Seeds 25. Right.
Yep.
And
20.
then,
I also have 24. We still have a strike available to us on 24, but we're trying to save that in case 25 goes down. But I tell people if you're not sub to number 24, sub to it so that if we disappear off 25, you've got a backup for it as well.
Yeah.
And I appreciate everybody that throws information my way and stuff too. It's if you're emailing either Dave or emailing myself with information that we can share with everybody, you've done the research and you want to lay something out for us, then don't hesitate to reach out to us. We appreciate it. We can only research so much each day in order to have information to bring to you guys. So you're part of the family. So we look out for each other. We look, and don't hesitate to send things out to us.
Yep. Awesome. All right, my brother. Well, thanks for hanging for a bit tonight. That was some good stuff. Some good chat and some digging on a few things that I think are important. I mean, the one thing that you're always gonna hear from whether you're listening to Hawks podcast or whether you're listening to mine is we're very positive. Despite all the negativity that's happening, we've both experienced this for many, many years, and we are still very, very extremely positive in our approach towards and our outlook for the future, because we are proponents and followers of Q, and we are seeing quite a bit of comms that are alluding to us, that are letting us know that yes, things are happening for the good behind the scenes, and if they weren't doing it, they wouldn't be telling us this. I guarantee you.
Yep,
It's just
exactly.
not the way. They wouldn't do it because there's going to be backlash. There's going to be backlash. And folks, if you want to support myself, you may do so. I just dropped some information. If you'd like to support Hawk, you may do so as well. Cash App is at $Hawk Marsden, $Hawk Marsden on Cash App, and then you'll find me at $David Snedeker on Cash App. My friends, thank you for joining us. I will see you tomorrow evening. Hawk will see you tomorrow daytime, 11 a.m. 11 a.m. Pacific time. And thank you, my friend. We'll talk soon.
All right, brother.
Much love, everybody. Be well. Much love. And God bless.
Peace.